head of it. Don't really forget about it.
Here we are at our Wednesday night channeling.
I forgot to pay you for the take last time.
Wednesday night channeling, number 203, and the title is As Above, So Below. Can you hear, Annabella?
I want the earphones.
All right.
I got them. And they're both tugged in. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Orientes.
Let's see, today's date is the 25th, 26th of February, 1992. And if someone listened to this 100 years from now, well, I don't know when it came, won't they?
You should have your signal on each of these tapes. You should have your address on the back of it.
Yeah. Our writing tonight says, As Above, So Below is the title. Or could we say, As Within, So Without? As you move forward in your growth, you learn to live from within out instead of from without in.
Bad.
The flow of life is from above down. The higher frequencies pours forth from the Godhead. As it moves downward through the many dimensions, the frequency is slowed a little with each dimension. When it reaches your level of manifestation, it is perhaps 100 or more times slower than from its point of origin. You are on your way back to your origin, the Godhead. As you learn to flow with the rhythm of life more of the time, your vibrations or frequencies is increased. You see more clearly and more often with the inner eye, giving you greater understanding of yourself and life. Learning to reach the higher vibrations gives you a distinct advantage as you go through this physical experience. To those on the higher levels of love and light, your plane appears very slow, like you may have seen a movie where the camera is slowed to a very low movement. You've seen that before, haven't you? This is not meant to set in judgment of you, just to give you a picture of the glories and wonders of life that await you. We didn't have a quiet time, did we? Let's have a quiet time. Let's close our eyes, relax our body, feel the mind becoming quiet. Let's lift our thoughts up to the higher levels of divine love and light and feel the contact that is made with these higher beings, beautiful scintillating light that the Father works through to reach all the dimensions below. Feel the divine love as it fills your heart. And feel the quietness, the calmness, the peace that passeth understanding. Be at peace this moment, right here and right now, the only eternity there is. Thank you, Father. Good evening, my dear ones. This is Don, coming to you from these realms of love and light, your doorkeeper for you from your realms of semi-dimness and sometimes darkness to the realms that get lighter and lighter until they are so bright that your human eyes could not contain them. It is with great pleasure that I turn this meeting to Elwa, who is with us this evening. My beloved ones, with your constant growth that you are moving upward, remember that God's love is always there, that His divine being lives within you. When you remember this, when you understand that you could not exist without the love of God, then you do not have to go very far, because He is always there with you. He is the substance of your being. He is the light of your understanding. He is your beloved, and He loves you with a love so great that you could not even begin to imagine it. I would have you to know these things and to remember them often through the day. I would have you to understand that God is very, very patient and very, very loving. Remember that God, the creator of your being, never, never condemns you. This, if it were understood throughout your planet, would rid your planet of many things that have been destructive, many things that hold your planet back, the entities on your planet from growth, that hold them from the light of understanding. When you think of a God that is punishing you, or going to punish you, you have fear. My dear ones, this is the opposite of how it is. And when anyone tries to teach you this, remember that that goes against the grain of life. It goes against the understanding of life itself. Fear is an illusion. It is something that is not real. It is no thing, nothing. When you remember this and fear tries to introduce itself into your thoughts, keep remembering it and send God's love into these thoughts, into these feelings, these moods, these attitudes. Allow yourself to be lifted up with the power of remembering that God is love, and that all the beings of light that are His helpers are using His divine love to be with you to work with you, to help you in any and every way that you will allow. Remember them often, my dear ones, for they are there constantly, not just one or two, but when you are in a circle of light as this, when you are taking classes and growing into greater understanding, you have many that you attract. They do not always come at once. They are there at different times when you need them. And their understanding is aligned with your misunderstanding, you might say, so that they can help you to bring more light into your consciousness about the things that you are not quite so sure of, or that you have a misconception about. They have gone through these experiences and risen above them. They are there with you. Send God's love out to them many times through the day, and in your mind reach out your hand to them and think of receiving a big hug, and know that they love you dearly, else they would not be allowed to be here to work with you. Now you are in between the realms of dimness and light, and when you drop your thoughts, then you open the door to those other conditions. But you in this circle tonight are learning to keep that door of light open so that it shines so brightly that no darkness can come near. As you go through your day, think to yourself, I am the resurrection and the life in this being that is divine, that is of God. I am his beloved child. He loves me very much, and I love God, and I love life. And as you look into others' eyes, look beyond the outer appearance and see the divine being of God, no matter what the outer appearance is displaying. You who know the truth know that God is in every living thing, and no matter what it appears to be, at the center is God. As you learn to do this, as you learn to not react in a negative emotional way to things that might happen around you or to what others might be doing that you disapprove of, as you learn to first look beyond this, see the light at the center of their being, and in your inner image, let this light become brighter. You may have to have conversation with them or not, but even if you are talking to them, you can use that inner image and let this point of light get brighter and brighter in your thoughts. As you practice this, you will be aware that it does make a difference, that it does make a difference. If in nothing else, it makes a difference in you. And that is the only thing that you can change, my dear ones. When you change your thoughts about this world, when you change your thoughts about your life, where you live, in your consciousness, then the light gets brighter and brighter. Divine love is manifested more and more in your life, and your life is change, and you are changing for the higher frequencies. And as this new age moves forward, you are moving with it. Each one of you here are moving with the vibrations and the flow of this new age. As we move into this new age, we will talk more about it, because it is the most valuable time to be in the physical in the history of this planet, since this planet was formed. You are very fortunate to have the opportunity to be in the physical at this time. Those who do not take advantage of this time when they get back to the other dimensions and maybe understand what is going on, they may be disappointed, but they will have another opportunity. They will have another opportunity and another opportunity until they are able to see with that inner eye, until they are able to hear with that inner ear. And as I was eavesdropping before the class started, I could not help but be overjoyed at what I heard one say about their life changing very rapidly. And this is the way of many on your planet that you do not know of. There are many, many small groups and many who are working with themselves, who are moving forward, who are understanding and opening up more and more every day. And I want to commend you on the great work that you're doing with yourself. As you do this, the vibrations go out into the ethers, and you are lifting the whole of mankind up just a little. Know this within your being, not to be proud of it, but to understand and to be grateful that you have this opportunity and that you have opened to it. Your time has come to be ripe. The fruit of your soul is ripe unto the harvest of God's love, and He is harvesting your soul with great joy. And as you move into this understanding, reach up and talk to the Father directly. Allow yourself to know that you and God are one, and that you can make this contact with God directly. You also can make it with Him through His many helpers. And there's not that much difference, my dear ones, if any at all, because there is only one life. And you see, wherever you go, whatever you do, you are involved with life. And life is God, and God is love. As these understandings become a reality in your consciousness, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, then you are living the life. You are living the life that you were brought into being to live. Your purpose in God's manifesting you was to be able to manifest through you, manifest His divine love, His divine light, His understanding, and bring into alignment those things that are not in alignment with the laws of life. Through you, many wonderful things can happen without your even being consciously aware of it. And it is not necessary that you are consciously aware of it. Yes, I know that you would like to be more aware, but you see, God works in many, many ways. He works with those who are open, those who love Him, those who love themselves, and those who love life. This is the ones that He can reach through to reach many, many others. And you may think that this doesn't sound quite right, because why doesn't he reach them anyway? And it is because of the free will. Some may not understand this concept of the free will, but you see, if you did not have free will, you would be like puppets on a string, and you would not want this. God has given you the opportunity to make as many mistakes as you need to make, and remember I said as you need to make, to bring you into greater light of understanding, and take as long as you need to take. For life is eternal, my dear ones. Life is eternal. And you remember that many out there that you may judge to be on the wrong side of the fence are really not. They are just learning their lessons, and most on your level have to go the hard way. You now are at the place where you can move higher through enlightenment. Let me try to explain. As the title of the class, As Above, So Below, as entitled, as you move a little bit higher, you gain more light to see by, and the more light that you see or understand by, then the more light comes in. And this is a continuous thing that goes on and on. Every day, when you do your grow work at home, you read different books and you receive enlightenment from them. You work with your classes. You listen to these tapes. This is getting into your consciousness, and it is bringing greater understanding. Light, divine light, is a symbol of understanding. And as you understand life, then you see the beauty and the glory of life, not the illusion of this physical plane. Judge not by appearances, for they are false, but look through those appearances. Learn to look through what is happening on this plane and know within yourself, really know, that it is necessary for those who are going through it, or they would not be going through it. And be grateful for their opportunities, even though it seems to be bad, bad, bad for them in the eyes of the world. Your inner eye is opening up so that you can see and understand that it is not bad. There is no duality. Life is. It is an ongoing process of bursting and expanding into more of itself through the greater understanding of God's expressions that are open to bring more light into this planet. Every little bit that you grow, you bring more light into the planet. And this adds to the light that someone else brings in, and someone else. And you see, when you have maybe seen a demonstration of a candle march, and not just one or two candles, but maybe hundreds of candles in the night, and they make a bright light. And this is the way that it is, my dear ones. As you reach upward from these lower dimensions, you do not have to be bound by the darkness that is prevalent for so many on these levels. You are beacons unto the world. Remember this, not in pride, but in gratitude. Allow yourself to be that open channel for life to work through. Allow yourself the glory and the beauty of seeing life as it truly is. As you see life as it truly is, then you never have anything to be sad about or to be upset about, for you know the truth, and the truth is setting you free from the concepts of duality and illusion. It is a beautiful thing for us to watch you grow from these realms. It is joy, it's great joy for us, for we have dedicated ourselves to working. There are a certain amount of the higher dimensions who dedicate themselves to working with those on the lower dimensions. And as we watch you get a little more understanding, and the light is brighter in your consciousness, and then you get a little bit more, and the light is even brighter, and this light goes out to be combined with other lights. It is a great joy, my dear ones, for we see the truth from here. We do not see the illusions that your news broadcasters broadcast. There is no duality. There is just God's love and light and beauty and glory. All else is illusion. It's false. It is not true. But those who have created those conditions, seeming conditions, I should say, in their world, and remember they live within themselves, not in the outer world, but it appears to have an effect on the outer world. Those who have created those conditions need that experience, and sometimes it takes many lifetimes for them to awaken. But there is no time. Life is eternal. And when we remember this, and that there is no death, then why be concerned in any way about yourself or anyone else? When someone reaches out to you, take their hand and give them what you feel inside that God is working through you to give to them. Otherwise, allow everyone to be as they are and be grateful for their opportunities that seem to be great problems and turmoil and chaos. Truly, my dear ones, it is not. It only appears to be. As you understand that the power of God flows from the heart of God to all the other dimensions below, and it gets dimmer as it comes down, but you see those as you in this circle of light who remember to practice the truth can reverse that process and allow that light to be brighter and brighter and bring about a greater understanding on not just the physical dimension. Remember that you are multidimensional beings, and as you know the truth, it may register for some of those on other dimensions than the physical without them being consciously aware of it. And then this, if nurtured, and you continue to send love and to feed it, then it can filter down into their conscious awareness. And some of you have seen this in those around you. Continue to know the truth and judge not by appearances. Be not discouraged about anything. and especially about yourself. Realize that God is working through you to the greatest extent that you will allow Him. And as you come to the center, as you read the books that you're reading, you are learning to allow God to work through you more. You're learning to open more doors within yourself. You're learning to let the light shine through much brighter. And it is a joyful thing, is it not? It is a joy to be alive, to know the truth. No matter what your physical condition is, no matter what your financial condition is, no matter what any condition in your outer life appears to be, remember that it is just illusion. Yes, you have to deal with it on the physical plane because you're working from the physical plane. But when you deal with it, my dear ones, through the eyes of God, through that single eye, then all things are possible. All things are possible to those who can believe. And when you know within the deepest part of your being that you are divine, that you are a child of God, that God loves you very dearly, and that you're always in the hands of God. You're always cradled in the hands of God. Never forget this. Take just one day at a time. Try not to live in the future or the past. Cut that past off because it's dead. It does not exist, and there is no future, because when it comes, it's the present. Understand this, and as you do, you are free. You are free to be a greater, a larger beacon of light unto the world, and especially unto yourself. These words this evening are given to you with great love, with great understanding, and we are grateful that you are ready, that you are at your point of consciousness where you can open these inner doors within yourself through understanding. And as you do, you see, you do not have to go through what you think of as karma. You do not have to always go through the physical act to get the understanding, to cancel that so-called karma out. You can rise above the law of karma. You can rise above the past when you do not drag it along with you through your memory. Now, as you are going through the class, time travel, you need to go back and go through these things so that you can slough them off for good. But after you do, then let them go. But while you're working with them, go ahead and remember, because forgetting is running away. Remember the truth and see those things that may be clinging to you from the past in your memory banks, those pockets of psychic energy that you held on to that are negative, that are destructive. They need to be released. And you do this through understanding, but first by seeing what is causing the disruption in your life. And through this kind of study, this class, you can bring this understanding. Oh, this is how that happened. This is how that began. This is the beginning. Then as you understand this, you can release it and let it be dispersed of its own negative energy and think no more of it, but move forward into the light of understanding of the present moment, and with love and beauty and joy in your heart. Everyone on this planet who allows themselves to be joyful, to be loving, to be happy, has this opportunity. So many know it not consciously, but there's a part of them inside themselves that do know it, and their time will come, their day will come when they awaken as you have awakened. Your day came, and you are awaking, you awoke, and you're moving forward. Many of you have gained much in other lifetimes. You gained understanding and allowed other things in to come in to disrupt it, but so you came back to clear it up in this incarnation. And I tell you, everyone in this room can finish up all of your so-called karma in this lifetime if you so choose. Be not afraid to look at yourself with open eyes, because there is no right or wrong. There is just God. There is just God's love. And those things, those experiences that happened in the past, that keep knocking at the door of your memory banks and want to be recognized, you don't have to let them in. You can tell them, you do not belong here anymore. This is not your dwelling place anymore. And by becoming aware that they are there, then you can change and replace them. And the beauty of it is that that energy of negativity can be transformed into positive, constructive, loving energy through understanding. Whatever you give thought to, you give life to. You are a channel that life is working through, and it works through the mind as a channel, the prism of thought. So whatever you allow into your channel, your mind, and give repeated thought to, you give life to. And so choose to give life to love and beauty and light and joy and peace. And then they are yours. You feel them, you experience them, you live them. And this is called the kingdom of God. Maybe it is time that we take a little break from the lesson and allow you to express your thoughts and your feelings. Are there any questions or comments tonight?
Do I have a comment?
Yes.
First of all, thank you for coming. And as I developed my question about the time travel and having to deal with it, you answered the question as I asked it. You made a comment about pockets of negative psychic energy that we bring with us. Do we also bring pockets of positive psychic energy with us?
Certainly do. Yes. You see, whatever you have gained in a spiritual way you can never lose. And you might go backward a little while, a little ways, but still that understanding that you've gained is somewhere in your consciousness. It's in your memory banks. It's there. And even if you slip and go the way against the current of life for a little while, that understanding can pull you up and bring you back to the being, the true reality of your being. And remember this, that you have all been completely perfect and whole and one with God in the Godhead. And you can also draw upon that if you have the courage to understand this and to know it and to let it flow through. When you can say, I am God, when you can say, I love you, talking to yourself in the mirror, and I love you to every creation of God's life, when you can do this, then you're drawing on that power from the Godhead, from the highest point, and bringing it down to your lowest level where you are, and lighting up your corner of life. Does this answer your question, my dear one?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes. Life is such a beautiful and wonderful experience when we let it be. You are where you are, and you slip and go back sometimes, but you who are on the path are slipping less, and you are moving forward much more all the time. You are remembering who you are. You are remembering to live the life instead of just talk about it or read about it. In order to enter the kingdom of God, you have to live the life. Are there other questions or comments?
Yes, I'd like you to elaborate a little bit on something you said earlier about it being possible for us to eradicate all our karma and get off the wheel of incarnation, so to speak.
Yes.
Seems like it would be such a massive job to eliminate all of it, to regress to all of those lifetimes and clean them up, so to speak.
You see, my dear one, when you look at it in that way, then it is to you. But you can turn your thoughts in the light of understanding toward your Godhood that is unlimited in power and wisdom. And when you open that door, and the light shines through, and there is no darkness anywhere. And if you keep this door open with a continuous saturation of knowing the truth, then that darkness disappears forever, no matter what form it took in what you call karma. Does this make sense to you?
I think so. I had been under the misunderstanding that I would have to go back and go over each lesson individually and learn from it and then go on.
Yeah.
If I understand you correctly, by effectively opening the door to my own godhood and allowing the light of understanding to come through, I need not go back and pick out the minute details.
Yes, there are two ways. There is the hard way of carrying your karma around with you and maybe chipping away a little of it at a time, or there is a way of laying down that great big steel ball and just walking off and leaving it through understanding. Understanding and knowing are very closely related words in your language. And as you bring the light, and this is the reason for bringing you this class tonight and talking about the different dimensions, and that you are moving at a very slow pace relative to the Godhead and those close to the Godhead, is to help you to realize that you do not have to wait. The kingdom of God is here and now. And as the master teacher said, the fields are white unto harvest. And all you have to do is reach out and take it through understanding. But you do have to hold on to it. But it matters not if you slip a little bit. If you slip a little bit and recognize it, you immediately send God's love into it and cancel it out. This is the greatest tool that you've been given in these classes, is the understanding of how to send God's love, and that you can be an open channel for God to work through. You can cancel everything out, but then you have to hold on to the understanding and not vacillate. And there's a time. Be not discouraged when you do vacillate back and forth, and you reach up and you understand and you see it, and then you drop back down through something happening in the physical world that you allow to disturb you. That's all right. Be not concerned, but just pick yourself up and walk back into the light. And let the light consume all that darkness, that misunderstanding. It is your choice, my dear ones, moment by moment, minute by minute, hour by hour. It is your choice. Every thought that you think, and you have to think before you say a word, you have to think before you do a thing. So it all comes back to your thoughts, your feeling, your moods, your attitudes, your desires. And as you choose to be loving, to think loving, beautiful thoughts about yourself first, and then as you look out at what appears to be this outer world, know the truth about it, and let it not drag you down into the dirt. Because you don't have to when you hang on to the truth. You may forget it, but you can reach back up and get it. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, I think so. I'll probably have to let it sink in a bit. But I believe you've given me what I need.
There's the hard way and the long way around, and then there is God and the wisdom. And you see, God is the life force that you are. So you do not have to go out and search for him. You do not have to go to India or to Tibetan or anywhere else, because God is everywhere present, and he lives within you. And when you allow his light of understanding to be in your thoughts continuously, then that moves into your consciousness and becomes a permanent part of your consciousness. and you begin to know the truth on many different ways and many different levels until your whole being is filled with light. And you know it so strongly and so powerful that you don't turn it loose anymore. That day will come, and it is coming closer and closer for each one in this group. So do not think that you have to carry the world around on your shoulders or all those things from the past. But when you do not know that they're there, and you are having experiences that you do not understand, then you need to look within yourself with the eyes of God and without fear. And as you do this, then you see, oh, so that was an experience. There is no good or evil. When you get past this point of duality, then you are home free.
I've asked God at great point like to just clean me out of all negative patterns, and I take for granted he did. And then I started going back over my life and how magnificent it's been. I just saw one wonderful person after another walking down the pathway of life. And it was just like I was in a paradise. There wasn't not one disagreeable thing that came up. And I can't thank God enough for it. Because I just took him for granted because he said he'd do it, and he does do what he said he'll do.
But you have to do your part by being open.
Well,
and asking.
I do ask.
Yes.
All the time I ask.
Mm-hmm. And open the doors and keep that door of understanding open.
When you once get answered prayer, really get it, and you get it coming fast, you know God's there, and you know he's taking care of you, and
Yes.
you know you better ask.
Yes.
But at first you don't think it's possible, and I've been as negative as the other people about it's being worthwhile. I thought, oh, it's just a little printed paper. Even for the first year I was here with you, I thought, yeah, that's nice. But you've got to experience it very vividly. And then it just takes on your whole life.
Yes.